Hey guys, welcome in. Syndrome. My thoughts on Syndrome is back when I first started, I thought Syndrome was gonna be alright. I started using him and I got to about level 30 something, and in that mid odd third range, Syndrome just kind of came bad. He started being alright after he got unlocked that level 2 drone little probot, flying probot. But then after a while that just became not that great. His damage was low, all of his abilities are very high on the point cost, so he's got a 4 and a 6, and I found they both did quite low damage. But now I'm finding, going up against a lot more bots that use him in the arena, and sometimes they can cause a little bit of trouble. So his main attack is pretty standard, just as damage, can get offense up with 15% chance, and that's kind of good. To do more damage, that's what you want. The probots, they can get sent out within 15% chance, so another 15% chance to go out, give something vulnerable, and what that vulnerable is the next ability that targets this character will get critical strike. So that's the absolute best thing about him. Now this bomb here, for a 6 cost, I find that's quite expensive, and especially when he's low level, it wasn't that great. When it was only like 50% chance at level 2 to do a crit. So it can do more damage when the opponent has a helpful effect, but only more damage by doing a critical strike. So you got 75% to do a crit, is nuts, on top of his already, what, I think he's got 6%, so that's 80%, plus he's got the team bonus of 7%, so that's 78% chance to get that big bomb to do a crit. Is pretty good. But the thing is, it only does like 500 damage, so it's pretty good. If you can get it timed well, it can be great. But then his last skill, this one here, the 0-point energy, he goes, shoots a laser out of his fingers, and it inflicts slow root, which stops him from moving, which is good if you're catching someone when they're moving up in lane. You can hold them in their position, but then it stuns them at the end if it expires. Naturally, you go hit, 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 boom. So over like 650 damage over 3 seconds. So that's pretty good. But this is where I found the difference, is that his point can do 650 over 3 damage, does slow, root, and stun, where his big bomb takes ages to get up, fly across, drop. It takes a long time, and it does less damage. Granted, you can get a high level crit at high levels, but that's not what the best thing he is there for. Is his probots. So as a team, he's got the extra leader, extra 7% crit, which is gonna boost my Horn King, and it only is, the extra 7% crit is only for villains. So this guy's already got 16%, so boost up to 7, another 7%. He's got 23, nearly 24% chance to hit a crit. There's gonna be 1 in every 4 hits. That is massive, and he already hits hard. And then Gaston, just because he's a tank, a massive tank, and he's also a villain, so just to give him a little bit more chance to roll a crit, is nearly doubling his crit chance, which is actually pretty good. So, and then with the guaranteed crits with the probots, That is the main part. So because of that, with this team that I've gone through for him, I've already done a showcasing of him and MERIDA to get multiple crits, and they just work amazing together. But I don't have my MERIDA leveled up, so I won't be able to do that team just yet. But if you do want to see that video, check in my older Sorcerer videos, Disney videos, and you'll see it back there. But what I've got is this little mirror here. I'm using the mirror. I'll get into the match. I'm using haste and a mirror. So normally I wouldn't use haste with Gusto, but I've gone with haste because none of these characters are on the same line, which is good if you're facing a MERIDA. Sometimes MERIDA can cause a whole lot of troubles if you've got like 2 characters on the back line or things like that. It can get a little bit difficult. But Laughing Toe. Some of these names, man. Wow. But since they're all on different lanes, oh, here we go, like crits up straight away. So I want to go use this gun here. No, he's done me. That is just so unfortunate. That was just like a wasted attempt right there. Wow. But that could have been like double hits all around, and I'm just gonna go wait until these move up. Get these guys. I want to use I'm using the haste gummies because none of them on a straight line, and I can do a bunch. Then here we go. This is what I'm waiting for. So I want to wait until they get this. Use this big hit because look at that, 1900 damage, and then I'll just use it another one. Like using the mirror, you can use it one after the other. That is my go-to. I want to go to that big suck up into the pot, just wreak some havoc, do like 1.9k damage. I've seen my own go up to 2.7, and that is pretty nuts, pretty nuts. So I want to make sure that I'm maximizing the damage, but then I've also got, if that is not ready, then I've got his little lasery point, and I'll use that because that's another targeting one that I can do a big crit in, whereas Gusto's gunfire isn't the greatest for that. So what I want to do is I want to hold up, wait until my bar is getting filled up, and then now that my bar is filling up, now I will drop the haste gummies. Boom, there we go. So that's out, and now hit them. 3.1. That is nuts. So then I'll use this crit, 3 seconds, crit, and then boom, got it again. So this is where, no, again. Man, my Gusto is just being very unlucky, but wow, that would have been like nearly finishing time right about then. So 17, down to, man, 3.1. That is nuts. But there we go. So I'm using this 19, heals it again. Oh, and when he pops off and he just starts sending those probots out, boom, 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 you can just chew through a team, just like bam, 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 bam. Well, why does it just boom booms and bam bams? Sorry, I'm sorry, but I just want to, like, you saw how they just started dropping, and their health was like 17k, boom, or 1700, just boom, like that. And that is where Syndrome shines. And the pairing of him and Horn King, the villains, the extra 7% crit for him, and it just allows. He's an amazing support that just allows Horn King to shine, and I love it. I do love it. So what I want to do here, this is like the perfect startup. This is what you want to see. And see, look, this is what I mean. Like, my opponent's using one, and they started using him a lot. That's going to be a lot of damage. Whew, that's not good. He's going to die. Okay, here we go. Let's suck some of that up. A little bit of healing. I need a bit of that. And then one more. No! How did I put that on her? How did that happen? That and I was too late for that one. I got too distracted by the miss. And now I've got nothing except his gun. So I'll take a crit just because I can get a crit. But look at that, like, you're just chewing through teams at this stage. Wow. But just make sure, if you're doing this team, make sure, one, you're using him with a character that's got good targeting. And now, just because of his team buff, I'm using, like, it just makes Horn King even better just because he's a villain. He gets the extra 7%, more crits, more damage, and then I'm holding his targeting, and then the magic mirror on top of that, just to do boom boom 2 in a row with a double probots going out. As long as they hit the right targets, I must not have dragged properly and was just jumped to the one in front of him, which, that's terrible. But see, now see this. Now this is what I was saying about with MERIDA. Other teams, oh, there we go. So this is where I will use his one, because the Horn King one not ready. I'll get it stunned. I'll get all this stuff going out under the way, and just get things moving. And then I want to use this, just because I want to blind MERIDA, because MERIDA's the one that's going to be just dumping damage. No, I moved out of the way. But it looks like I'm going to have to use this one. See, look at this. He flies up, goes, and it takes so long you missed your targets. That is frustrating. But, and in saying that, lots of people don't have helpful effects, so yeah, it's kind of a shame. Here we go. Targeted, then you save your skills for that, and then wait until boom 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 boom, crit under those vulnerables, and just quickly wipes them down, as well as slow the root, and then the stun at the end. That is how he shines. So I think those are his best two: the probot and his beam are the things that he does amazingly. And then on top of that, if you're using, like, another great ones to use with him, MERIDA. So I'll go into people that work with him after this match. I'll jump over and go into that. But one thing I do love that he brings is quick games. It's nice not to have like a tanky, healy, slow match. It's nice just to be able to jump in, make some hits, and all of a sudden you're there we go. That's what we want. So those two in a line on a crit, boom boom. And then, no, they moved again. Alright, I need to plan for that better. But check those like, just those crits out. And I want to interrupt too. There we go. But like fast matches is kind of what you need. And it's got a little bit of like strength and tankiness from the Gusto, but not so much that it's slowing me down. It still keeps it speedy, and especially with his skills, it allows me to keep playing fast. Now, if I had these characters leveled, other good replacements, if you don't have Horn King, because I know now it can be a little bit more difficult to get him, let's just check. MERIDA. MERIDA is amazing because of her wisps. So every time she crits, she gets a wisp. She heals, and then her wisps help her other abilities. So if we go back here, rain of arrows, hit a vulnerable or something, boom, hit a rain of arrows. You can do, fires 3 arrows, and then if you got 3 or 4 wisps, that's 7 arrows, 7 crits. You heal for 7, 8, 900 healing, as well as potentially causing continuous damage for that much, doing even more damage. That combo right there is nuts, like super good. If they do miss out on the villain buff, but I mean at least Syndrome gets that himself. Another great one is Cal here. So a reason why she is a great one is because of her Gatling gun. So this one, the Relentless Assault. So this just goes off delivering 6 shots, and that means 6 crits. So brrr, and it's nuts. And then of course increasing damage by anyone who's got defense up or shields. If they've got a vulnerable on them, easy way to just chew through their health. Absolutely just chew through their health. So I know many people in Disney Titans have her leveled right up, and she is another one, and she's generally got a high crit chance. That, bear in mind, she's got 10% at level 4. That's the same standard as Horned King, but she's not quite as fragile as him, although with the pot and things like that. So she is another, like, people that do a lot of attacks in one skill, or have a lot of like bonus to their crits, are amazing. Like Mickey, Papa Mickey. If you were to put Mickey in here with him, and then you go and pop your big stun, they got vulnerable, you're just going to be critting up a storm, and then it's a wide area, so maybe you can catch both targets in one attack, which is a bonus, but then you're also stunning them, which is nuts. So he is another great one, and at least he's got a bit more survivability with all his brooms and everything else that he can do. So those are the best types of options. Things like Ariel, meh. Even like Aladdin and all those other ones, like, yeah, I mean, you can potentially do some high damage, but then things like Aladdin and Jasmine don't have very good targeting. They can only target people on the row in front of them. They can't target people far away. Well, Aladdin does have magic carpet. That's the only one he can do. But you want to be able to have a targeting attack that can target anyone wherever those probots fly, hit them, do some big damage. So Horned King, just because of that massive damage that he can do, I find he is amazing combo with it. Just like amazing. Who else do I think would be good? I'm not sure. If there's anyone else that I have missed, check in the comments below. Maybe, you know what, Madam Mim, she could be good with her refreshing of the, is it her main attack? No. Oh, it adds 10% chance to refresh harmful effects. So if you could just refresh it, no, but it only lasts until one effect, so it doesn't even. The max it will do is keep it there until you have a skill ready. But not the greatest, Horned King is definitely my best pick, just for the sheer damage that he outputs with that feed the cauldron. Like, the damage is nuts. 660 is a lot, and then he crits super high, so that is the best thing about him. 221% increase is massive. So there's one combo I'd like to try with him, would just be the back row bandits, which would be Horned King. I would like to try Woody, since a lot of people are getting him leveled right up. If anyone has this combo and can try it, Woody, Horned King, Syndrome. The reason why Woody, I'm not sure, this is just a test, and maybe I'll get to it one day, but if I could do this combo with Woody, and if I had him all leveled up, so if I could have him with Woody, I would want, is it this one? So Woody can do the vulnerable as well, so it just adds more chance to get it out. So that's one, that's just a little bonus. But the one that he is very good for is it this one? No, that's his main skill, this one here. So the Yeehaw the chance to give and granting critical power up by 15%. So what is critical power up? Ooh, they don't actually show it here. It's only got that. But let's have a quick little look here. The crit power up. Let's jump back. The crit power up is, where is the? Can you only see that when you're in a battle? That is a shame if that is the case. Let us see. I've got one more battle here, so let's see if we can get it. So this is my little team just for completing all of these tasks for the battle. I haven't leveled up my buzz and my. Oh man, this is, I've been too late. You want to try and do that before he gets that reflect on. But so this yeehaw, there we go. So if I pause this here, status effects, crit power up. Affected character deals 100% more damage with crit strikes. So if you can get more vulnerable, have Woody. You'll solely be relying on. You'll probably have to use like aliens and snowies to try and distract people since you're only using back row. You'll solely be relying on the vulnerables to pop on out. Try and get use the crit power up instead of the haste things. You won't need the haste anymore because you can go crit power up. It gets all three of them, so it will affect all three of them because they're all sitting on the back. And then just be dropping aliens and snowies just to keep refreshing all the skills, and until you get the vulnerable. Hopefully that you have a crit power up at the same time, and then do 100% more damage. That could be nasty. You could be, I could put what you might be able to look at like 2, 3, 4k, 5k crits maybe. That'd be nasty. That'd be nasty. So if your normal is 200, if that it goes up to 300, because I don't think it's like 200, then 100% more of that is 400. I don't think it goes that way. I think it's just going to add 100 onto your critical strike chances. So instead of being 220, it'll be 320. So, but even if that's the case, adding another 1,000 damage on, if that's the case, that is a lot. And if you could get this to work so that they're all just chewing through, trying to crit and do all that kind of stuff, that is the thought behind this. So if anybody has all of these three of these characters leveled up, can you please try it? Let me know if it is amazing. I would love to know. And I want to know if I should invest in my Woody for it. But I think it sounds like it would be a fun one to try anyway. So let me know. Anybody who has them, I'd like to see it. I would love to see it actually. So here we go. One other little good trick here is if you give him blind, he's not ready to attack the jellyfishes, and then that stops the shield from coming up. So that's another way you can just kind of get past those things being pretty OP. So pretty good little trick there. And I'm just trying to finish everything off, so get all my defeated units with the toy suit. I'm struggling with that because my Woody and Buzz are so low. And because of that, I'm playing these out and actually choosing and targeting my things. If they were high level, I could probably just yeehaw. I could probably just no. That is not good for me. Okay, I want to start just sending out things run about now. Just want to get him knocked out. And alright, now I should be right. One cool thing is that I do like is that you can potentially, I found out the other day, get more than one shadow clone on the field at a time. If you're using the mirror, you can go and populate everything with the shadow clones, which is pretty cool. But anyway, back to the whole syndrome team and things like that. Woody, potentially, if you're doing the strategy, that could be OP. Not OP, but very good strategically to play. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. As always, I've rambled on long enough going into that little side note about a team that I'd like to try. But I just wish they would sort out the gold situation, because I want to power up so many other of my people. I can only afford to take one to level 57 at the moment. I've got all these other ones to power up and to try and to level up and to star up. I've just invested a whole lot into my syndrome. Just before I did this video, I was like, you know what, I had him sitting there for ages. I've been collecting these things. I'm like, I want to use him. And especially after that buff that he was given, I was like, okay, I definitely want to use him. So I just invested in him, and it just absorbed like 2 million coins. And then I was just like, wow. There goes my coins. Leveled him up, so that's just starring him up, leveling him up. And I'd love to be able to do my Demona. And I also took my Gusto up a star or 2 as well. So that sucked out all my coins that I've been saving. So I'd love to be able to level all these up, but for now, and even my genie, I've got him. I want to use him. It's in there, 8 star, 7 star, 8 star, 7 star. I've nearly got my Woody to 7 stars. Nearly got that 250, 4 star with 250. That's your 7 star right there. My Captain Jack is nearly able to be doing that as well. So all these guys I'd love to level up and try and play different strategies with, but we'll just have to wait and see. So let me know if any of these other characters you'd like to see a little bit on. The sad thing is, a lot of them only get good until they get their final skills, and I'd love to try just like Oogie and Anger and all these other guys that just don't get seen. And this clown with a hammer, I think he seems pretty cool, but these are all going to be things for a future video. So hopefully you've enjoyed this little snippet of Syndrome, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and anyone who can test that combo. So that being said, we'll see you next time.